Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
It's not good enough for me since I'm done with you. It's not gonna work for you. Nobody can equal me. I'm gonna catch the rhythm while she push up against me. Ooh, she tips.
Back it up, 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 back it up.
Baby gon' work your mind. Baby gon' work your mind. Work your body. Baby gon' work your. Baby gon' work your mind. Baby gon' work your mind. Baby gon' work your mind. Baby gon' work your. Baby gon' work your. Baby gon' work your mind. Baby gon' work your. Baby gon' work your. Baby gon' work your. Hold up. Baby gon' work yo. Work yo. Baby gon' work yo. Baby gon' work yo. Work yo. Baby gon' work yo. Baby gon' work your mind. Work. Baby gon' work your mind. Work. Baby gon' work your mind. Work. Baby gon' work yo. Work. Baby gon' work yo. Work yo. Baby gon' work your mind. Work. Baby gon' work yo. Hold up.
Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. Back it up, 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 back it up.
Hold up.
My lord, my lord. All right, crew, we're ready to clean up here. Setting up for stage 2. Make sure you guys go ahead and stay here. We're just switching over the crew. Give us a minute. Enjoy the music. Enjoy it. Take in the music. Take it all in. All right, that's enough of the music. Let's actually get into this. Let's get into the show now. So I appreciate you guys all being here. That's actually probably my workout for today. I shouldn't even have gone to the gym. Honestly, that took a lot out of me. Let me see, that should be good. All right, well, guys, thank you everybody for being here tonight. I know we had a late start. We had an extremely late start due to the fact that the fight night went to map number 7. Wow. Map number 3. Sorry about that. Map number 3 tonight. Ghost came in against E United. It came down to the wire. E United took the win. They are 2 back-to-back 2K champs. Obviously, that's something I guess we expected, not really expected. Ghost Gaming looked a little hot there. Unfortunately, they couldn't come out and take it in the end. So that's unfortunately what happened there. Honestly, I'm happy to be done with it. Honestly, I was sitting there. I was getting so bored. You know, I just wanted to turn up. I just wanted to give that 5 minutes of theme right there, you know, and now I feel better about myself. I got it out of my system, and now we're ready to talk. So, guys, the topics that we have up for tonight is, the first topic is Esports Gear says farewell to Motivate Gaming. If you guys don't know who Motivate Gaming is, I'm sweating like a fat chick right now. It's actually really hot in this suit. Sorry for being super honest with you guys. And yeah, we say farewell to Motivate Gaming. The owner, Carlos Asuha, unfortunately couldn't make it to the show tonight. He was going to have his director of player operation here on the show, but unfortunately he had to go pick up family member at the airport due to the last minute cancellation. I will not have Cam on here, but I will be talking about that. Then followed up by GodPlays versus Icy. The rivalry is reborn. Now, if you guys don't know, GodPlays is now on Echofox. He has been picked up as one of the 3 players that Echofox recently just picked up. And Icy, obviously he's still on Optic Gaming. These guys had some bad blood in Vegas Season 1. I was there. I heard the whole commotion. We're not going to go into that, guys. I don't like to bring into the negatives into the show, but we are going to touch on the rivalry. Obviously, those guys have a lot of tension between each other, and I'll be able to show you guys some screenshots of what exactly is going on between the 2 players, and now, obviously, between the 2 teams. Then followed by Echofox is back in full force. Now, I say it like that because are they really back in full force? Is that really the Echofox roster that they wanted? Did franchise say, hey, look, we want 3 new players, we want some fresh blood, let's make it happen? Was that exactly what he said? I don't think so. So I'm going to be able to tell you guys what exactly went down behind the scenes. Obviously, you know, you guys don't know that, and I like to give you guys that information because it's not fun to hear all the corny professional stuff all the time. You know what I mean? We want to be able to speak a little bit more about it. So I'll be telling you guys a lot about that. And then also we have Praized going to Optic? Is he going to Optic Gaming? Huh. I don't know. Interesting. Then we also have, is Solurs retiring? So there's been a lot going around about Solurs retiring. I don't think it's going to happen, depending on what the contract issues are with Echofox. But that's apparently the rumor going around right now, or the buzz, if you guys want to say, that's going around involving Solurs and Praized. Are they really going to be benched? Are they going to be subs for the rest of the season? I don't think so. I know that's something that a lot of people have been talking about. I don't necessarily see that. If it ends up happening, it's very unfortunate for 2 extremely talented players like that to be sat out for the rest of the season. But again, I'll be able to give you more details about that. And then lastly, the Optic Gamble. Now, Optic Gaming released Kenny, as we all know, and there's a lot behind it, not just, you know, skill, not just team chemistry. You know, there's so many factors that go into team changes, and Kenny wasn't necessarily dropped for his skill. It was more for, I guess you could say, him working together with his team. Not really team chemistry, I guess. It's hard to say. But there was a lot of buzz going around in regards to Kenny, you know, wanting his team to stay strict, wanting them to practice, wanting them to stay at the level that they should be at. You know, being Optic Gaming, winning events, takes a lot of work, takes a lot of effort. And just to go ahead and I guess sum it up for you guys, I guess Kenny was very vocal about that. Kenny wasn't necessarily the leader in game. You know, obviously Explosives, one of the best mid-game meta players, you know, is kind of that leadership role. But on the outside, it was pretty much Kenny from what I say. This is my personal opinion. Obviously, this isn't fact. I will tell you if it's fact. This isn't fact. This is my personal opinion. Kenny seemed like the leader outside of the game. So meaning with interviews, meaning with getting his guys ready. And maybe Kenny overstepped his boundaries with his teammates, and maybe they necessarily didn't agree with it, and instead of dealing with it, they got rid of him. Unfortunately for Kenny, he had to be let go from Optic, but guess what? Now he's on Echofox, so is it really that bad? Don't think so. I'm pretty sure Kenny bounced back pretty fast. And that'll be it for the show, guys. So again, thank you everybody for being in here. Without you guys, there is no show, so I appreciate you guys sticking it in. Wow. I mean, sticking it out with me. Even though jeez. Even though that fight night took forever. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. I know it's late for most people. I always try to get my show started at 9 and be done by 10:30. And we're obviously starting at like 10:15, 10:30 now. But whatever, the show will still go on. No homo, guys, for that last comment. Sorry about that. Try to stay as professional as possible. But to continue on going with the show, Esports Gear says farewell to Motivate Gaming. Now, guys, per sources, okay, this is per sources, Motivate Gaming happened to be one of the best organizations to hit the esports gears world. I know they treated their players very well. I actually interviewed with the owner, Carlos himself, for a position in managing and coaching their team. Unfortunately, I don't think they ended up getting a coach in general due to funding or something like that. But the fact that he was able to sit down with me personally, talk to me one-on-one, it shows that this organization is the real deal. You have former players from that team like Hesitates, you have Vital Sam, you have Domes. They all have great references for that organization. So like I said, it's really hard to see them go. You know, that's not an organization we want to see go that's representing the esports gears world. The more orgs, the better it is for us and for all the players, obviously. It's kind of like a home and a family to play for. So unfortunately, Motivate Gaming is saying farewell to esports gears. So a quote from Carlos himself says, "At this time, I would like to announce Motivate Gaming's exit of the esports gear scene. I would personally like to thank everyone in the community for the support and the development of the Motivate brand up until this point. I would like to thank all the players and coaches we have staffed, as well as all of the executives from Microsoft and the Coalition Studios who I personally engaged with over the past few months. As for the future of Motivate Gaming, we have officially entered the competitive scenes of Rainbow Six Siege, NHL 18, Iron Sight, and as we all know, PUBG. We believe these are strong titles for continued growth and future expansion." And to follow that up, I also have a quote from Cam, the Director of Player Operations and Development. He wanted to let all you know that it is purely a business move to ensure that Motivate is successful in the long run. They love Gears of War and they are very passionate about the game. We would like to thank all of our coaches and players and wish nothing but the best for them, and we hope to be back in the future. That is from Cam, obviously the Director of Player Operations Development. He also wanted to go ahead and throw that out there for you guys because unfortunately last minute he couldn't make it due to the late fight night, which kind of ruined everything. But you know what? We're still here. We're still alive. So that's it for Motivate Gaming. Appreciate you guys being here. I know Carlos is going to be watching this. Carlos, we thank you for your time. We thank you for your effort and your dedication to the game. Even though it was short-lived, we still appreciate that you even came to the game in the first place. And this goes for every organization that's currently looking to get into Gears of War or has been on the outskirts and kind of figuring out if they should or shouldn't. Obviously, guys, we welcome all organizations. I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself that from my personal experience in the past, I've worked with many organizations, I've worked with many sponsors, and I've never had an issue, but that also comes down to the players themselves. And right now, guys, if you're listening and you're watching this, you guys need really need to work hard on yourselves. You know, when it comes to negotiations, representation, you know, social media, these organizations are looking at all of that. And obviously, we've been seeing a trend of orgs leaving the game, which is never a good sign. So please take this into consideration and listen, guys. Like I said before, Motivate Gaming, it's good to have you, and a bid farewell. Thank you. Next up, guys, this is where the juiciness starts. We have GodPlays versus Icy. It's Reborn. They're coming back. These two guys had some serious bad blood at Las Vegas of last year, Season 1. We obviously had an issue between the two. They both got suspended, and you know there was a lot of bad blood going around. There was hands thrown. That's not what we want to see in the esports world, or ever. Nobody should ever have to put their hands on anybody, and I say that from experience. You know, you guys should be able to talk to each other one-on-one like men. And, you know, everyone went through their situation. Everybody learned from their mistakes. Obviously, everybody learns from mistakes. That's just life. So I'm glad that they're both back at it. But now, the rivalry is back. And this is what we like. This is what we need in the esports gears world. We need storylines. We need excitement. We need to have these guys go head-to-head against each other. And we need to have some pre-game interviews of having somebody with some energy, getting these two players hyped up, telling them what's the good and the bads of each of them, and getting that excitement up on the stage and getting it live on stream. That's what we want to see. So I'm excited to see that. But for everyone that didn't see the drama, or the nerd drama, I guess you could say, between the two, I have screenshots here between Icy and between GodPlays on Twitter. This is a nice update for everybody because I know not everybody's able to catch up with the news, and that's what I'm here for. I like to give you guys that recap. But going up first, we have Icy. Now this came from Icy himself, as you guys could tell. We're not going to talk about who he was talking to because obviously they're blurred out. We don't care about them. But Icy said, "You understand that I will never in my life lose on land to GodPlays, right?" Well, guys, Icy actually lost to GodPlays on land, which was the funny part. So the fact that Icy said that, he probably should have quoted it correctly and said that I will never lose to GodPlays on land again. Okay, that probably would have been a little better. You know, we got to learn on a phrasing what we're saying. And then you have GodPlays follows up. GodPlays, obviously the loudmouth he is. GodPlays being one of my former teammates. I loved him, but boy, did he drive me nuts. And he stressed me out like no other. It was like having a kid. The guy was 16 years old. Extremely talented, but extremely hard to just control. He was just out of his mind. But I love him. He's a great player. He's very successful. And now he's on Echofox, so good for him. But that's GodPlays' response. GodPlays goes ahead and says, "The last time I played you back in Vegas, when I was United, you were on Swords. That was the last time I actually played you. And before that, I sent you home in Mexico. And in Vegas, you had the better team, but you was on Swords getting bodied. VOD, don't lie, ask Fatal." So VOD, guys, is video from the tournament. So he's saying, go and watch the video. I killed you basically 5 times in a row. Go ask Fatal Strike, because as we all know, Fatal is that man for footage. He preaches footage. So GodPlays, being as smart as he is, quotes that. And then he follows that up by, "Now I actually have people that know how to play the game," right? Correct. So, the rivalry gets interesting. Now we have Optic Gaming -1, and we have a whole new Echofox minus Fran and Kyle. I still have Optic Gaming winning due to the fact that it's Optic Gaming, and no matter what fifth they pick up, I still think they're dominant. I still think they'll control the scene. The biggest threat I see against Optic is Ghost Gaming. Now, Ghost Gaming obviously lost the fight night tonight against E United, but that doesn't mean anything. Online is online. I know these guys don't have Fatal Strike, and it's not to make any jokes. Fatal Strike is a big key factor to that team. Obviously, guys, they only won an event after Fatal Strike was on the team as their coach. So I still see Ghost Gaming and Optic Gaming fighting for that #1 spot. Echofox, definitely a top 4 team, but the competition has been growing and growing. Now we have Ronin, we have E United, we have Rise Nation. I mean, these guys are hungry. These guys want it. So it's extremely hard to predict if Optic will necessarily stay dominant or if Echofox will really break into that top 2 once again with their new roster. But that's going to be it for GodPlays and Icy. We'll get rid of that. And before I jump into my next portion, I'm going to go ahead and talk about one free agent team now that is up and coming in the scene. I know you guys know a lot of them, but I just wanted to point it out tonight to go ahead and bring it to your guys' attention. But this team right here, this is a very interesting team to bring into the game and to talk about. We have Keem, Soto, and Pell, and they're apparently looking for 2. And the funny part is that Chris Kyrolites actually goes and responds, Neglectin, and Strafey. Can this be an actual team? Can we see Soto, Pell, and Keem joining forces with Strafey and Neglect? I personally would like to see it. That team is, yes, definitely all over the place, I think. But I think they all have the skill. Not necessarily sure they have the leadership. I know Soto would assume that role, but I just haven't seen success with Soto leading teams. And I know DeFazio is not on that team. DeFazio is one of the players left out of that roster, and DeFazio is also a free agent. So it's interesting to see what exactly these guys are going to do. But I just wanted to bring that up to everybody's attention because I want to give everybody a little bit of the spotlight. Now, going forward, guys, I'm going to be bringing on a special guest of the night. And you guys all know him. He's one of the originals. He was a Gears of War 1 pro. I actually saw him play at Meadowlands of 2008. He's been around for a while. He's teamed with Nick Merckx. He's teamed with the Insanes. He's teamed with MBN. He was actually a teammate of mine on MBN before. And I know a lot of you people know him. He's been playing probably longer than I have, honestly, at a higher level. And I wanted to bring him on here tonight to talk about all these roster changes, to talk about the Optic nonsense, to talk about Echofox, all that stuff. Because obviously I don't want to just talk myself. It's always great to have a guest, and it's always good to bounce ideas off of. And this is somebody who's extremely informative to the game. And I want to know what exactly he plans to do going forward with Gears of War. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to be go ahead and calling Prospect, aka Shane Kane himself. Just stick around. Shane, you hear me? Hold on.
You hear me good?
Yeah, there we go. Talk again?
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. All right, awesome, perfect.
How about video?
Don't see video. Oh, actually,
No.
hold up.
We need video.
Let me see if I can pull you up. I think I'll be able to pull you up. Turn on video. No, for me, I can't turn it on. For you, I can't see you yet.
Hold on. I got like a little antivirus program that's looks like it's stopping it. Hold on. I mean, we can start talking while I figure this out.
Okay. So, guys, this is Shane Kane, Prospect. Like I said, one of the original Gears players. I'm talking way, way back. And he's continued to play just as long as I have. And I wanted to bring Shane on here tonight to help me talk about all these roster changes. Shane obviously hasn't kept up with, you know, all these nonsense between Optic and Echo. It is a new age between flip-flopping and between teammates. But Shane, give us a little bit about yourself before we get into it.
Oh, I mean, you gave me a tremendous introduction right there. But I mean, I like to think of myself as the original, you know, not just part of the OGs. But you know, I mean, listen. I've been doing this since the beginning of time. I mean, I came from Halo 2 before I even knew what MLG was. And ever since I went to my first Gears of War tournament, it's been nothing but success and nothing but greatness, you know, and nothing but determination. So between Gears 1, Gears 2, Gears 3, GAO UE, and a little bit of early GAO 4, believe it or not, I'd like to think that I'm one of the most successful Gears of War players and innovators of the game. But, you know, and that's just me being humble. It's just nothing out of pure love and just pure just loving the game. I mean, I still love the game. Even now, the last couple events that I've been to, I've been in complete give back mode. You know, I obviously don't have the time because I know the required time that you need to win tournaments and to compete for the top 8 level, especially in today's, you know, league. But for the most part, you know, that's a little bit about me. I mean, I've showcased all the new games. I've worked with the developers. I try to, you know, see how I can get involved as much as possible. I love the community. And I, you know, I still have love for the game. I still try to stay relevant one way or another. We need video. We need video right now.
You want to go ahead and call me back?
Yeah, give me like 30 seconds.
All right. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wait for Shane Kane to get some video. Obviously, he's a very confident guy. You guys can tell that him and I are similar in the way, I guess, we talk, the way we present ourselves, which was always a good and bad thing when we teamed together. I had fun teaming with Shane. Shane was a very, very competitive person, just as much as I was. So the combination was good, but it was also deadly at some points. But Shane is a very competitive guy. He just called me, hung up. Don't ever do that again. I appreciate that, Professor. My man, Professor Push. Good to see you. Guys, also, while I wait for Shane to figure his out, thank you all for being here. All the new faces, I appreciate you guys. There it is. There he is. You're live. You're good.
We got video?
Yep. You guys can see.
Film?
I think they'll see you. Almost positive. All right, yeah, you're good.
Hey, I see myself. Let's get it. That's what I'm talking about. So hold on. I'm not done yet. I just want to let everybody know, just for those who have short-term memory loss and long-term memory loss, your boy, Prospect, because I always love to set the record straight. For 2 years in a row through Gears 1, when Snipes was the most, I guess, when it was important, I got voted by the pro players as the best sniper, and I was handed an award. I just want to make sure, just in case Blaze, just in case Franchise, just in case Predator, just in case anybody's watching, I just want to make sure that you know what it is right now. We always going to set the record straight. We always want to keep it 100. Stack bundles up in this bitch. But you know, that's enough about me. I'm definitely getting ready to dig into some of the content or ideas and topics you have here.
You never seem to amuse me, Shane. Same old Shane. All right, so that was one of the best introductions we've had. But Shane, going into it, I know obviously you know Franchise, you know Echofox. Have you seen the whole Empowers, Kenny, and GodPlays being added to that team? Do you know a little bit about that?
Yeah, I was actually catching up with a couple of my friends today. You know, just trying to see what the moves are. If I don't want to get too into it. Mm-hmm. Not with you. I mean, like I didn't want to know until it's permanent. I'm not about like, you know, the constant rotations. You know, I give it I want to know what the rosters are for the tournament, not people feeling shit out. You know how that goes.
Obviously.
But what exactly do you want to know about? How do I feel about that roster going forward?
Yeah, so you had Echofox, they had Toy Soldier, they had what's his name? God, now with the flip-flopping around, I can't even keep up anymore. So Toy Soldier, Praized, Solurs. Toy Soldier was released officially. Praized and Solurs, apparently bench, substitute, whatever you want to call them, they were taken out. Echofox officially added Kenny from Optic. He was released. They added Empowers, which this would be his first major team. And then you also have GodPlays, you know, who's been in the scene. Obviously, he was suspended, and now he's been added to that team, along with Franchise, which, you know, we all know, and Kyle, a.k.a. Kyle Critical, whatever it is. So tell me, do you think this new roster, in comparison to the old roster, who do you think is better between the two?
I mean, you can't. I don't know if you really want to look at it like that. Let's just look at the facts, right? The team that Echofox had together has been together, at least the core of the team, you know, with the addition of Kyle. They've been together for a long time. They lived together, you know, some of the teammates. They really created the environment to win. They put in the time. They put in the dedication. With all of that being said, they really expected to hoist some trophies in the air. You know what I mean? So not being able to do that, you kind of sit around and you have to ask yourselves, what do we need to do to win, and why haven't we won? You know, Franchise has been around for probably as long as I have been, you know, and for a long time he had to figure out a roster and learn how to win. He was always kind of like not the best player on the team, but he really has come to his own. He kind of grinded when the game wasn't, you know, on the circuit, put together a nice squad. They've been together forever. Something must have happened internally. There's definitely some, and not necessarily chemistry. It might be a little bit deeper than me and you know. Mm-hmm. But with the amount of events that have happened without winning as many times as they expected to, I think going forward, this is kind of like what the Cleveland Cavaliers did at the last minute before the trade deadline. You know what I'm saying? Either we could deal with this with this energy and what's been going on, or we could just, you know, send everybody on their way, get the new team going, and give it our best push forward. Which quite honestly, I don't disagree with the move. Like I said, I really think that something deeper has happened that is not on the surface, and we don't know about it. If you're going to clean house like that, you know, especially for an organization like Echofox, something happened. What happened? I don't really know, but you know, they didn't win as they expected to. They set the environment to do so. You know, and not for nothing, you know, like a lot of teams can make that push forward with that new team energy, you know, that new team hype. Like, yo, this is our do or die moment. This is the last chance we have. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of recycled players right now, you know, between some of the teams, but between the elite teams, I don't really know who else can kind of be moved around as chess pieces here, at least roster wise. I really think that Empowers is a good move if you're going to do what Echofox did. This is Echofox's last chance in my eyes. You know, everyone's talking about Solurs was, you know, a top 5 player, if not the best skilled player in the game. I know for sure Praized is an absolute savage, one of the smartest 1v1 players and shotgun players in the game. Not necessarily power weapon, but he had the rest of his team to do that. You know, so the physical makeup was there. The skill was there. The mindset was there. The experience was there. They had everything and still pulled up short. So to clean the roster out, I don't think it was a bad decision. You know, and again, you know, going forward with a team like Empowers, who's young, hungry, dedicated, nothing but gears on the mind. You know, stone cold killer. That's it. Plain and simple. You know, trying to get everybody on the same page. If they can kind of get that group at some lands and get in the same house to play, I think they have a good shot going forward. And I think they positioned themselves to be positive about the future. How about that?
Yeah, no, that was a good breakdown. I know you went a little bit more into detail, which is great. I agree with you on M-Powers. M-Powers is a very risky play. Yeah, he's one of the best. Obviously, I think you played with him on LAN before or against him at the New York City Microsoft Store. The kid has what it takes, and we both know, there's guys like that will come out of the woodwork, and they could either make it or they could break it. I think he'll make it. I think he has the team to do it. Obviously, he has franchise, one of the better leaders left in the game. There's really not many that I know of personally. So he has Fran there. He also has Kenny. Kenny being, like I just spoke about, being one of the leaders as well for Optic Gaming. Maybe not necessarily in the game because you have explosives, but somebody a role model to look at. So I think that whole Echofox roster is kind of like a last minute piece together, and this is my only personal opinion because of Solurs and Praized. Now, Solurs and Praized, and again, I don't like to talk about rumors, but it is pretty set per sources that Solurs and Praized were just upset with placing top 6 twice. Now, it's completely understandable. Those two guys have won events before. They're both extremely good players. They know what it takes to win, and that could be upsetting. I know for myself, I know for somebody like you, Shane, placing top 6 back-to-back after, winning an event, placing second, whatever it is, consistently, that can get pretty tiring. So I know Solurs and Praized are technically being benched or put into purgatory right now due to that. And I know they are trying to make a move as a duo together. They're trying to stay as a package. And rumor has it, this isn't per sources, but I've gotten it from a lot of players and a lot of, I guess, org staff, I never give away any names, that they are both trying to package themselves and sell themselves to Ghost Gaming in replacing Ribs and Identives. I don't see it happening at all, but I have gotten this from probably 10 plus people, and as of right now, those two guys are under contract, so it'll take a big org like Ghost Gaming, it'll take a big org like Optic Gaming to buy one of these guys out. And I've said it before, and I still stick to it, that Solurs will either 1, retire, or 2, will go back to Optic Gaming as long as his contract is bought out. Now, I don't necessarily see that as being an easy thing, hey, let's do it, let's buy out his contract, let's get it going, because they are locked into their contracts, and we all know it gets a little messy, and I don't see anybody else being dropped from Optic Gaming. I know a lot of people brought that up. Oh, let's drop Icy so they could add Solurs and Praized. Nobody else is being moved from Optic Gaming, guys. I could tell you that right now. That core 4 is staying. It's either going to be Solurs, it's either going to be Praized, and that's if either one of them can go or if one of them retires. Like I said, Solurs apparently wants to retire to spend more of his free time with his girl, obviously, to do whatever it is besides professionally gaming. And then Praized, I haven't heard much from him. It's kind of just a waiting game, and I think he's waiting for one of these top teams to slip up, drop a player, and pick him up, which is a great addition for them. But as a top team right now, do you really want to drop a player unless you definitely necessarily need to do it? I don't see the move happening.
No, I mean they just got dropped off a team. So I mean, unless they're reflecting upon that and reevaluating what they want to do going forward, you could either have a fresh legs duo, which I don't see them joining Optic or Ghost Gaming. I mean, Ghost Gaming just won an event. You can't mess with that. You can't, whether you want to or you don't. You can't mess with that. And with the addition of Fatal Strike, regardless of what anybody has to say, remember this is not Fatal Strike as a player. This is now Fatal Strike as a coach. I think he's found his calling. Comes discipline, right? Trying to teach younger guys a little bit of discipline, regardless of what someone is capable of doing in and out of game. You know what I'm saying? He's no longer playing. I think he brings in the discipline and the maturity to let everybody know what's a good and what's a bad decision. I definitely don't think that Ghost Gaming makes a roster change. Anybody who thinks that, I mean, you could hold me to it. I think you're out of your mind. And then same for Optic Gaming. I mean, Optic Gaming, I don't know who they're going to pick up. I imagine if I was them, I would try to go for Solurs, someone who is a savage, you have chemistry with. When they had him, they were ridiculous. But again, we got to see. I don't know what they're waiting for. I mean, maybe you have a little bit more information on that. I don't know if they're skimming around or if they're in talks with people or they're kind of waiting to see what rosters or who they can swindle off their team. You know what I mean? Like, but think about it. A lot of players to join an organization like Optic for what they've accomplished and what Optic is as an organization, that's pretty appealing. People might go just for that, just to be, under that umbrella. And you can't blame them, for wanting to make that move. But at the same time, I'm all about, the veteranship and the chemistry and really, really building strong fundamental teams. So I would like to see possibly Praized, Solurs, and even Toy Soldier, if that's possible, pick up 2. Maybe they could figure something out. That'd be interesting, right? Because you still have 3 savages there looking for 2. I mean, that's you could probably work around that. And even, if they have the energy to do so, as you grow up, as I don't want to call them kids, but as players grow up, we've been playing since we're so young. We go through so many changes, and I'm not trying to talk about adolescence here. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not, but people change. People change. And some people become complacent. Some people want to hang out a little bit more. Some people, you join an organization. Now you're making a couple dollars. You win a couple events. Maybe you're making a little salary. Now you want to go out to the club, or maybe you want to smoke a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just keeping it real with you. I'm keeping it real with you. You know what I'm saying? And that gets in the way of the game. So you really got to find the environment or the leadership that's going to ground people together and make sure that people are on the same page. It's hard to do with 5 guys. That's why you don't have the leaders that you used to have back in the day. Especially you only had 4 guys on a team, let alone 5. It's a lot to deal with. So, I mean, those are really my thoughts on that. I wish everybody the best of luck. I hope it works out for everybody. But, at the end of the day, I like to see teams, try to stick together as much as possible. I've dealt with a lot of team changes myself, so I can tell you some people become complacent, some people's attitudes changes, some people's approach change, and you can't have that. You can't have the environment get fucked up over one guy. You know what I mean? You really need to be strict on the environment. And people always say, "Hey, prospect, you're one of the toughest fucking people to play with. You don't listen to what people have to say." And it was never that. You know what I'm saying? If you could speak to those who played closely with me. I mean, you even played with me. Mm-hmm. It was more about making sure that the discipline was never compromised. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the flow of ideas. It wasn't the strats or the counters or anything like that. It was to make sure that somebody represented the team and made sure that everybody stayed in line and that the team respected that at all times, no matter what, and no matter how everybody was feeling.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's kind of what we were touching on in regards to leaders and how things have changed. You don't necessarily see that anymore. And yes, I brought that up before that we had team together, and yeah, you were always very, very strict. You were always about, all right, guys, let's stick together. You're always about, let's focus on the game. Let's not get complacent, which you kind of saw, and you see that from everybody, especially Optic Gaming. These guys have won, I don't know, 8 events, 10 events, whatever it is. So maybe here and there they slacked off a little bit. 4th place finish, that comes up. But I agree with you. You do want to get some fresh legs in. That was a good idea that you brought up in regards to Echofox, swapping out those 2 guys. Maybe they are just giving him a break. Maybe they are taking a personal break or whatever it is. We don't necessarily know 100% sure until it's confirmed for us. And that's something that, maybe Echofox is looking into. Maybe Optic Gaming. I know they haven't scrimmed. I haven't been told they've been scrimming. Nobody's come to me and told me that they have. I know right now they're kind of on a blackout. They haven't really played. They haven't been streaming. They're probably trying to figure out what exactly they're going to do as far as a 5th, which that's what leads me always to Solurs. Like you said, they've teamed together before. Those guys were unbelievably nasty. I mean, that was a great team with Solurs. Obviously, they had that issue that he couldn't make the event or, whatever it is, personal issues when he was younger. I think that's something that could happen to any of us at, when we're young. And, if they could look past that, I think adding Solurs brings a lot of firepower to that team. A lot of people were giving me the rebuttal or telling me that he's not necessarily Kenny. Now, I know you know Kenny. Obviously, we've known Kenny for a while now. But between the 2, for as much as you know about the 2 of them, do you really see a difference between them as an overall player and as well as skill?
Are we talking about Kenny and Solurs?
Kenny and Solurs, yep.
Yeah, well, I think Solurs likes to play the front spawn. You know what I mean? I think he's ready to slay at all times, and I think that people are willing to put him in that spot because that's what he's good at. I don't know his attitude towards playing, on the back half of some of the maps and rosters and positioning. But I can tell you that I know for sure Kenny is down for whatever. And this is because, I kind of worked with Kenny a lot, molding him and teaming with him. and his attitude and his maturity and his knowledge has just come so. And I always tell him when I see him, I says like, I never knew that you would become this. You know what I mean? Like that you would become this good because of how he used to play. He used to be like one of the original like warriors and kids used to tweak out on the wall bouncing. Now everything he does is pretty much calculated, and he's able to talk about it while he's doing it. He's like in Gears of War 4. Everything's a play. Everything is a play. Everything that you do builds up to the next play, the next play, the next play. So the micro communication, your positioning, you know what I'm saying, your ability to play within the team, he always brings that. And on a team like Optic, they have so many playmakers that it fits so well. I'll be honest, I thought that was a weak move. I thought that was such a weak move. I think they copped out. I think that, they basically said we needed to change or kind of. I don't really like scapegoats. You know what I mean? If they said, hey, we're making the change for X, Y reasons, I think that's one thing. But I think you said it best. I think that he exposed them a little bit. Optic Gaming has had so much success since they came onto the scene, especially with Mental, who I actually brought up myself as well, who I recruited as a young kid who was a savage. I can't take any credit for his ability at all. I remember I got him into his first scrims. And he started scrimming, and then he wouldn't talk, and then we were scrimming other people, and he was like, "Yo, get me to scrim," and we're like, "All right, but you got to talk, bro." You know what I mean? Like, but with that being said, I think you said it best. I think Kenny, was calling a spade a spade. He was like, we're not scrimming because this person, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but maybe they didn't like that. So in the sense in the camaraderie. Maybe you shouldn't expose that to the public, but at the same time, he wasn't being malicious about it. He wasn't trying to be negative. He was just calling it what it was. Like, hey, I'll scrim with you guys or do pickup scrims because my team doesn't scrim. We're only scrimming 3 days a week or whatever it is. And, that kind of exposed them a little bit, and they didn't perform well. I thought that and it's I really thought, because I watched their games. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like I don't know what happened. There wasn't many people watching their games. I was standing there watching their games. And even when they played Mind Freak, who wasn't supposed to be of a great, team and skill, was going neck and neck with. They were going round for round. And, we were like, yo, what's going on with Optic right now? And, Mind Freak was standing over them. And I don't know if do you know the Mr. Krabs call? Yeah. They were actually doing they were actually calling it ding ding. That's what they call it because of the noise. Because when you trip cap, it starts going bang bang. They get the fucking gongs. So they were like ding 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 ding, and they were getting beat by Mind Freak, and it was a really close game, closer than many people probably thought. And at that point, it was you could tell that they weren't feeling the same. They weren't as electric. All of their playmaking ability was a little bit they were strapped. They got locked up a little bit more. And I think it was in that moment when they started to not feel the confidence along the line of seats across them, And I think that's a feeling that they didn't ever want to feel. And I think to escape it, they're like, all right, let's get somebody new. Let's get the energy up and let's never go through this ever again. I really wanted them to hit the drawing board and come back strong with Kenny. I really do. Because they could have won. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't put the time and you start hitting this point, it happens to everybody. If you don't put in the hard work, and these kids put in the most work, that's how they came up. These weren't new kids. These weren't new warriors on the scene. Just like Praized and all these guys. These guys have been playing forever. I've seen them in the lobby forever working on their stuff. You know what I mean? And they finally got their shot and came in young and never felt the pressure because they just came in and just started clutching on everybody and destroying teams. And then they started, while teams were making their team changes, they just kept getting better and better and better and just constantly making plays on teams. I think that they're not able to clutch as much as teams because teams are practicing or looking out for that. Teams are smarter, just a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't think it's drastic different, but I think the meta is kind of, everybody's on the same page for the most part. I'm not saying that it's not going to change or anything. I think there's not that many trick strats. I think people are prepared for, it's kind of like, this is what it is. We're going to fight straight up. And people are not getting clutched on as much. And I think that's what, a lot of shots that they were hitting, they weren't hitting. Like Optic's a team that, you think you have them calculated and all of a sudden they blow you up like with the ridiculous reaction shot. And at the last event, they were up A stuff and just getting rocked. You know what I mean? I watched it. And I even myself, I was like, what is going on right now? You know what I'm saying? So you can't put the blame on one player. It really is on the team for trying to think that they could just go in there and win off skill alone without the preparation. You got to prepare, and even if you do everything right, you still got to show up to the tournament and do it. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to be cold-blooded. You know, you got to destroy these kids. And they didn't prepare, and they didn't show up for the tournament. So it was a double negative for them. I thought they copped out by dropping Kenny. I think again, they're still gonna get somebody in and try to like use momentum and positive energy, and their core squad is good enough to. And I don't think the competition is near them to keep them out of like the top 6. But if you saw Vegas's brackets, I mean, good teams were getting knocked out early because teams were matching up earlier in the tournament. So it was definitely fun and interesting to see. I really just want to see a lot of the amateur teams and some of the the semi-pros and the 6 through 8 teams stick together and make sure that while these teams are making their changes, that they're just grinding their stuff out, because now's your chance to win. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of new teams.
Yeah, right now with all these roster changes, it's definitely the time to come out and win. Like you said, obviously everybody wants to see a change in pace. They want to see Optic out of the top 2, top 3, whatever it is. But before I go forward, I have a screenshot up here for everybody, guys. This is from Kyle himself. He had tweeted out, he said that it seems like a lot of people are confused. Just to clarify, Praized and Solurs didn't want to be on the team anymore and wanted to explore options. We wanted to play with them. They didn't get dropped. They'll be on a new team soon. Excited to work with Fran, Kenny, Powers, and GodPlays. Now that goes ahead and confirms that. I know it's been rumored that their contract is going to be up definitely before the next event. I just don't know when. It might be up probably the end of this month from my guess. So I can't stand you.
Sorry. I just wanted to see what I look like on camera.
I'm sure you look at yourself plenty in the camera.
No, I really don't.
Yeah, he's lying. So this clarifies that Kyle obviously wanted to still play with Solurs and Praized. I mean, who wouldn't? Two both really good players. So this is Kyle basically saying, hey, look, it wasn't on us. It wasn't on me. It wasn't on Fran. Obviously Toy Soldier's not brought up at all, which I find it to be funny. Toy is kind of like the odd man out. Nobody talks about him. He's just been released officially. He's a free agent. But this just says that Solurs and Praized, like I said earlier, 2 top 6 placings, they want to be out. Don't blame them. Now, I know we've been talking about it more and more in regards to where they go, what they do. To follow up on what you said about Kenny, I agree. I think it's a cop-out. I think Kenny brought a lot to that team. I think dropping him wasn't necessarily the move they needed, but maybe in their eyes, being as young top guns that they are, they figured, hey, let's get rid of Kenny. This guy, we don't know. He's getting annoying. He's telling us what to do. We kind of want to just play. We want to play whatever we want when we want. And getting rid of Kenny now gets rid of that. But now who do they add in as a 5th? Regardless, going into the next event, it's going to be very interesting, because not only do you have a new Optic, you have a new Echofox. And now on Echofox, as you know, they have GodPlays. GodPlays, one of my former teammates. He's a loudmouth. The guy has skill. He's very, very good. He's just he's a loose cannon, I guess is what you could say. So now having him on Echofox going up against Optic Gaming, what do you think about that? Do you know any of the background between GodPlays and Icy? I wasn't sure if
Well, I heard there was a little altercations. Maybe a punch was thrown. Maybe a tooth came out or something like that.
Correct. Something like that. Something like that.
So I'm not condoning. I'm all about spreading love, and I think love is we all got to be smart. But listen, shit happens. I would rather a fist fight than somebody take shots. Especially in today's world. By the way, I do kind of want to pause this. I never knew him personally, but apparently there was someone in the Gears community who did get shot. So I want to say rest in peace to Slinger. I really, it's terrible news. I hate to hear that. But I don't want to get too off topic. I just wanted to make sure I said my piece.
No, that's good. I forgot about that. Showed my respects to the man, especially, from our community. But with that being said, listen, stuff happens. There's been tons of tournaments just through, just the nature of the game, the violence, the shit talk. People get heated up. People get in each other's face. And I guess maybe they kind of had a little altercation. Not the end of the world. I think they got suspended for it.
I hope they learn from it. But I think it makes it juicy. It makes it interesting. It kind of keeps the storyline fresh for the community. I think the community needs this. And it's good energy. I mean, not to say again, I think that they won't fight again, right? Because of how long they had to sit out, and probably the financial implications that came along with that. So I think they were forced to learn their lesson. I think people should take notes and make sure that they don't get caught up doing things of that sort. But keep it raw. Keep it raw. That's the nature of the game. I think that it's going to be a good matchup. Again, we got to see how these teams. Let's see who they pick up. Let's see how they match up. Let's see some of the 2Ks. Let's revisit this conversation. Maybe get me on in a couple weeks or something.
I'm down with that.
And let's see how far they come along, because it was always Optic and Echofox. Now Goes Gaming jumped in. Now you got E United. So now you got a lot more teams competing for this top spot. Now we're not really sure. Let's see how these next 2Ks come out. Yeah, we could chalk a couple things up to online, but really it's all we have to go based off. So that's exactly what we'll do.
Yeah, absolutely. There's really not much else to say. Like you said, it's always good to have that gimmick. It's always good to have that storyline between these two guys. I think we kind of need to feed into it. Esports skiers has always been like that. We obviously are the most, I guess you could say, dramatic or the rawest, I guess, game out there in regards to Call of Duty and whatever nonsense there is. Obviously, those guys don't have the loud mouths that we have or the trash talk that we have. So I think we need to build around this rivalry. Obviously, everyone knows the background story to it. And I think it's exciting. Now these guys are both back on top teams, or Icy, obviously has been with Optic. But Echofox now picking up GodPlays, making it a little bit more interesting. And I know once Optic Gaming has their final piece to their puzzle, when it's official, we could touch back on it and actually talk about that rivalry as a whole in regards to both teams. Now, to sway a little bit away from all the roster talks, Shane, I know you have been playing a little bit during last season as well as this season. Now, is that something that you see yourself doing, or are you going to start to take the coaching, the managing route, or are you just going to sit back and do your whole streaming thing? I know you've been into that. Kind of tell us a little bit about, what your plans are as a player or even a coach or whatever it is.
How much time do we have?
You got time.
So, I mean, here's what it is. And this speaks to a lot of the teams. And I don't know, I guess since I have time, even those closest to me have been, sort of my downfall in this game. Like one of my brothers who I would protect and fight for till this day. I love him. Prison death.
Yep.
Him, he left me at GowUE. I don't know if you know this. Right at the ESL deadline, the day before, we had practiced so much, right? And we were all about smart practice, right? Well, we could make up a little bit with skill. We made up with years of experience and being able to discuss strats and just being smarter. And we had gotten so good. It was me, Prison, Distortion, and we picked up Noxious. And we were so good. Remember that. We actually, we got to the point where we beat Swarm, the Optic team. We beat him in the GB ladder, going right into the ESL Pro League. And there was a GowUE tournament that happened. I don't know if it was a Hypestation or something.
I think so.
And Prison convinced us, hey, let's not go to this. Let's make sure we focus. It's a waste of time. Let's make sure we focus, put all our efforts into ESL. So we did that. Noxious went to the LAN, got second place using our trick strats, then convinced him to join the team that he had just played with. And he left us at the deadline. You know what I'm saying? And since that time, me and High Distortion, we had picked up Genesis. We picked up, who did we pick up? We picked up Phenomenon. And we were the first team to get into the Pro League. And, we were actually competing. We actually did really well, but none of the teams that I've ever played for were about that. We were never about leaving each other last second. We committed. We were hard. Even in Gears 2, when we were probably the most dominant team at the time, we won the GB PCL ladder, which was the hardest thing to do. Our record online was like 50 and 60. We had more losses than we had wins. But by the time that PCL ladder was over, we were so well versed in our strats. We were so warmed up. Our counters were ready. Our timing was ready. Our trick strats were ready. Everything was ready. And we won the fucking PCL ladder. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's always, my experiences have always have always shown that the preparation, you cannot go wrong with the results. You know what I mean? If you prepare. So Prison leaving me at that time, we still beat Envy the first time around. With Praise and Franchise. Let me throw that out there. We beat Demo Bounce's team the first time around there. We lost to Sleepy Time's team, and they put 2 New York teams on West Coast servers. But
Jesus.
whatever. I don't know why. That was that was the first match of the ESL. They put us on fucking national TV on West Coast servers. We got our ass kicked. So enough with the UE, right? I was never able to kind of find the roster and rebuild what I had there. And then going into GAL 4, I had made a commitment to a similar roster. It was me, Prison Death, Jay Merks, Will the Beast, and Wingos. And even with that team, we had to put in the time. We had to learn a lot of things, and there were some things that we still didn't know because the game was fresh. And talk about GodPlays. I'm going to tell you a story. We actually beat. For those of you who think I'm washed up or whatever, we actually beat, or we're beating Rushies, Crash, Birdie, Sam, and who was the 5th?
Jake? Was it Jake or
No.
Strafey?
No. It was somebody who's playing right now. Somebody who's like on a pro team, a top team.
Rosado?
No. So whatever. It was a team of like 5 of like the most prevalent pros. Crash. Did I say Crash?
Yeah, you did.
Crash, Rushman, whatever. You get the point. And we were whooping their ass. Whooping. This is when the game first came out. And they flooded us. You know what I'm saying? To get, we were winning like 6-1, and they were playing stupid and birdies. The same thing for 10 years with this kid. So, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing it for so long. I'm over it. I'm over all the bullshit. And then, sure enough, the commitment that we made to each other, we lost a 2K to actually Fatal Strike's team, who wasn't nearly as good of a team as us, but we were playing Impact, and you had a guy like GodPlays who early in the game is playing very aggressive through the middle of the map. You know what I'm saying? And like really opening up the map and exposed us. And he was the reason why we lost. But we left that match such a better team than when we entered. And because we lost to someone like Fatal Strike, everyone was like, no, I'm not losing to Fatal Strike. I'm not doing this. Fuck out of here. And we actually split up. And since that, I think that was that was my last shot at truly competing at a top level. Because if that team stays together, just through our knowledge alone, we're gonna make it somewhere within the top 8, and that's the same reason why we're beating these kids Crash and Rushman and all these guys before they were really rose to the top. In the more recent events, I've kind of just put in a little bit of time. I don't have the time to, again, I wasn't going in there to win a tournament. I'm in complete give back mode. I love the community. I love the game. I love, I really didn't want to miss a chance to go to Vegas with my brothers. I met, some of my best friends, through this game, and that's the truth. My closest friends are from Gears of War. Whether, I don't care how you think about that. That's the truth. Mm-hmm. And to go to Vegas and spend time and even compete a little bit, I had a blast. I don't regret it. But the time I have to play, with work and everything is the time that I have to play. With that being said, I'm definitely done playing. I love LAN, I love the game, but I'm definitely done playing. It doesn't seem like even the people that I'm playing with, as awesome as they are, they're not. It doesn't seem that they're as hungry and absorbent to the knowledge. To really with the 5 guys and the game type, it really takes a lot of time to perfect the craft. And even then, you could do 9 things right in a round, and that 10th mistake, you fucking lose, and everyone gets folded and tilted. So, with that being said, I'm definitely done playing. I would love to stay involved as much as I can, no matter what. I actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but I actually wanted to do the fight nights. I guess maybe I wasn't what they were looking for. I guess I don't have the face for that. But with that being said, if I could cast, or if I could just stay involved, I love being around the people that I grew up with. The new young guys who want insight, who want to know, what they need to do to take it to the next level, to ask, I love being able to give back like that. Even coaching a team, possibly, depending on the roster, depending on, if all that is feasible, with the timing of scrims and all that good stuff, that could always be an option. But for the most part, to answer your question, 20 minutes later, I definitely want to, start focusing on streaming. I would love for one day I do pretty. I kind of, I graduated college. I'm working hard. I'm developing. I'm working on myself, and I'm proud of where I am right now. But the truth is, if I could phase my day job to become a full streamer one day, I would love to do that. You know what I'm saying? To stay within the gaming realm is truly my passion. If it's not baseball or like football, which I tried to do for my whole life, it's gaming. And it's where my passion is. I love the industry, and not even Gears of War. I love watching. I'm into Fortnite now. I really love the games. Epic game, right? They make Gears of War. Overwatch. I love watching esports in general. I think the hype and the industry is headed in the right direction. You got a lot of people looking, and there's really people don't know what the end goal is right now in the industry. Like what is the end game? Because it just keeps evolving, and I think it's really exciting. So I think if I could do that, I would love to do that, but it comes with a lot of commitment, a lot of consistency, and I'm trying to work on that. I try to work on that all the time, but again, I still have to deal with having to go to work every day, some Saturdays and stuff like that. So like it's kind of I got to sacrifice a lot, and that's what I've been trying to do. I mean, right now I'm just a very small streamer. I'm a small pea in a pod, but I have fun. Even when I have just a couple guys in the stream, it's very intimate. We get to know each other, and
God.
And that all right. Sicarios thinks it's too long, so I guess I'll cut it off right there. I don't want to bore anybody. It is getting late. But I think that answers the question. On what I want to do between Gears of War and streaming.
Yeah, no, I think that answers the question. There was a lot that went into it. So one thing I wanted to bring up, because I've actually been playing Fortnite a lot with Void. I know you know Void. And also J-Mercs. Now, J-Mercs and myself, J-Mercs, and Void are quite, I guess, the group. So it's funny listening to Jay. Jay brings up a lot of Gears of War. He brings up a lot of trash talk and talking shit about you, talking shit about Jimmy. And the one thing that he said about you, and I was dying because I'm like, I honestly have never watched him and I've never played it, obviously, with you, is that Shane moves like a fucking robot and I can't play this game with him. And it made me laugh because then I watched Jay, and Jay's probably the same exact way. And I'm like, Jay, what are you doing? But I think I think he's gotten better. I think personally, I don't know, but
well, he needs to get his senses up. If he can't hear, if he can see, he can't hear, and when he can hear, he can't see, type shit. But he plays it a lot. I'm pretty sure he's getting better at it.
He is, and yeah, that's one thing that I couldn't understand when I played with him, is that every time, yo, speak louder, I can't hear you guys. I'm like, forget about it. I'm out of here, dude. I can't. Exactly. This guy's getting old.
You already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I already know. We're dropping and tilted. Yo, where we going? L's? Yo, can't hear you. I'm like, yeah, forget about it. This guy is Jay. Like, this guy's been playing forever. I know, he did really well. He was just talking about it, retaliation, third place with no headsets, but it blows my mind because now he has a headset, and it's like, what's going on?
I mean, I don't know. One thing that's definitely not on the agenda for this that I definitely want to touch upon is I really fucking hate, and I'm sorry for the strong language, I really hate the paddles on a controller. I really think that everybody should kind of play on PC and keyboard and mouse with that. But I don't know why I felt the need to say that. I just hate it.
Yeah, that came from deep down inside. I saw you. This is usually, you start to think about that. And just so you know, Praise is in here. You said that you might be one of the funniest people here. Praised. Is he still
Shout
here?
out Praise, baby.
Yeah, he's still here.
Yo, Praise, much love, baby.
Yeah, he's been lurking. I DM'd him mad late. Oh, what's today? Today's Wednesday. I think Monday night, Praise, and you could confirm that. I DM'd him, I don't even know, at like midnight or some shit. I'm like, yo, please tell me where you're going. And he responded, yo, because I said, I think yurt or some shit. And he's like, listen, man. All right, here it comes. Yes. Finally, Praise is in here, guys. It's time. It's quiet time. All right, I respect it. You are a businessman. The Bronx taught you well. That's one thing. A lot of these Bronx players, you guys come out from the woodwork. You, GodPlays, Soto, Sleepy Time. So I can't speak on that. I appreciate that. Obviously, when you are ready to talk about it, though, do know that I want you and Shane on the show so that we could talk about it man to man, kind of give us the details about what exactly happened behind the scenes.
That'd be awesome.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, if we could hear it straight from the source, right out of the horse's mouth, I mean that's as that's the best type of content you can get.
That's what I'm saying. I want Praise to keep it raw. Praise, I know you're from the Bronx. You know I worked in the Bronx, and I expect you at a higher level. I expect you to bring it on here and get real raw with this business. I know right now you got to play businessman. I respect it, but just do promise me that you'll be on here whenever you finally get to your new team or you get back on the main Echofox roster team, whatever you want to call it. But
so what do we have? We have anything else to touch upon? I mean, I'm having fun. Don't fuck with me right now. Just give me shit to work with, and I'm going.
I can tell you're quite the talker. I don't know. I don't remember necessarily if this was the case when we teamed together. I think it was, but I think you were so focused into the actual game that we kind of fucked around afterwards. But yeah, know, you're impressing me. You know the way you're starting to talk. And Prey said in June, we can talk in June. Oh, he just dropped intel. All right.
Looks like that's we know when the contract's up.
Thanks, Praise. I love you, dog. You keep it real, honestly. I DM you whenever you actually answer, so I appreciate that. But we'll talk in June. Whenever you're when Optic Gaming signs you, let me know. Imagine. Ooh. I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't think we took. Look at GowRosterMania taking notes. Praise, you know what I do for a living now. You do know. So my tactics, there's a certain way to the way I speak. I know you know this, being from the Bronx. I'm sure you've dealt with us before, so you got to pick and choose what you say, and you got to actually sit there and process what I ask you. But then I'll ask you multiple questions back to back to try to slip you up. But you gave me something. I don't know if that was a slip up or not, but I really appreciate that. Now, Shane, I don't know if I asked you this. Maybe you did touch on it, but whatever. What do you think? I never tell with the feds. I hate you. Praise to Optic. What is your take on that?
I mean, my opinion on Praised on any team is that you're going to get, one of the best players in the game. I'm really hoping, Praised, that for whatever reason that you're not on Echofox anymore. It's just more of a disagreement nature and kind of like a timing thing. That maybe I'm hoping that you just want more, that you're expecting more from your team, that you weren't the problem. I don't know how that could be, because even just like doing pickup streams with Praise, his communication, his sense of urgency for situations, it's always accurate, it's always sharp, and you're going to get one of the best 1v1 shotgun players with high IQ and good positioning and good communication. I think you can't ever go wrong with that. Usually you have a lot of teams where you have multiple guys who want the power weapons. Praise is willing to give that to somebody. I mean, he could probably use him if he wanted to, but that's always a plus when somebody shows how much they're willing to give for their team and not be selfish. So I think that's what he brings to any team. I don't think he deserves to go to just any team. I would love to see him on Optic, or even just to kind of see how that plays out. I think that would be interesting, and it gives him a chance to kind of to put himself in a position to win. And that's what I want to see everybody do. Not just Praise, but definitely Praise too. So that those are my thoughts on that.
All right, that's good. Well, Praise, do you approve? If you're still here, which I know you're still here, do you approve with that? And guys, I think I'm pretty much done for the show. We do still have Shane here. If there's any questions, concerns, or anything that you want to ask Shane before we go ahead and wrap it up, we are going to have Shane back on here probably within a week or two. I kind of want to let this whole nonsense clear out. Maybe once Praise is in green, we could have him back on here on the show. But if you guys have any last minute questions or anything like that, go ahead and put it in the chat. But to follow up with what you said, Shane, it would be awesome to see Praise on Optic. Obviously, if Solurs got on there, if he got on there, doesn't matter. This man Shane didn't want to team with me back in the day.
I mean, if there was ever a chance to team with Praise, it was a long time ago. You know what I mean? Definitely not in the recent times, because I remember like the second half of Gears 3 going into like the future games. I knew Praise was the real deal. So it would have had to have been so far in the past. I ain't worried about it.
Praise, I know you're listening. Do you remember Gears of War 3, it was the first event, and Shane, I think you actually were there. I think Caesar was still playing, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if actually... do you remember that NJ Halo? It was Gears 3, I think.
I lost the fucking Praized.
Oh.
But not for nothing, you fucking Praized. I'm going to tell you, that the technology wasn't up to date, and the way I remember this so clearly. We were on tiebreaker map. And the way we were doing the streaming was that everybody had to go on a 3, 2, 1 countdown like 30 seconds into the round. And we were playing Hotel on Gears of War 3, and literally when we were running, everybody was fighting at the torque bow. Remember how you had the 2 stairs on the inside?
Mm-hmm.
So when we were turning the corner to go up the stairs, they were already on top of the stairs, fucking throwing smokes at us. Pow, 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 grabbing torque bow and shit. You know what I mean? I don't know that was the best match to go based off, but obviously they were good enough to win, whether they left 5 seconds early or not. They only went on to go do good things after that. I know Praise played with Supremos and JP, and JP is actually my boy, and he's actually a savage. So, I mean, it makes sense that they won. They're all definitely good players, and they deserve that one, even though they left late. I think if they left at the same time, we win, but they deserve it.
Yeah, I remember that clearly because I remember watching that match, and I think it was you or C. I think C's actually got up and he was going off when he saw them that they jumped out early, which was always an issue in that freaking game. I know C's was going off, and then Praise, Shane is dramatic. Now Praise, you guys kind of were wild with that stuff though. I know Neptune's Marcus. I think you know him too, Shane. Marcus was a little loose with that stuff. My man was rolling out quick. Oh, no, yeah, I left at the same time. Nah, chill, boss. I'm like, nah, this guy is disrespectful. No, there's no way. And
go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
No, the fight was just so crazy. We had 8 smokes blowing up in that one area, and I remember I was like, it was like, like the lights were on trip. It was like pow, 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 and everything was just like so laggy, and we were just fighting, and they were already on top of the stairs. It was an uphill battle to say the least. But enough of that one.
Yeah. Well, I was bringing that up, Praise, because you're in here, obviously, so I have to make it dramatic or at least funny. So I know you do remember playing us in the finals. That was me, Karil's, Immortal Spawn, Zero XL. And we actually beat you guys. And the one thing that I was happy about is that we played on, what was that map? God, Mercy. That was a terrible map. Yeah, Mercy, I think it was. On steps way up by Mulcher, whatever you want to call that nonsense weapon. I inked, incarnated, and I know it's on stream because I think it's, what's his name? The Face, and I think Vicious or C's were actually commentating. It's on YouTube. But I ended up inking, I think, all 4 of you guys, killing you guys on the last round or some shit like that to win 4-2 or whatever it was. Yeah, I don't understand. That was the happiest moment of my life, to kill you guys as warriors. But that was probably the last time we ever faced off against each other, because from there, obviously, you skyrocketed it, or whatever you call. He said you guys smoked us. Yeah, you did get smoked, and then I inked you guys. I think I had like 12 kills that map. And I remember clear as day because I was talking mad shit, not even to you. I was talking shit to Neptunes and JP because they thought they were nice, beating, Shane is one of the teams. And I don't know who else you guys beat, but I know you guys were souped up. Marcus was talking shit to me. And then once I beat you guys, I was happy. Obviously, that won't happen ever again. I mean, forget about it. You're on a whole different level at this point. But probably still smoke you. One-on-one, probably. But enough of that whack story.
We're gonna have to set it up, maybe.
I'm down with that. Praise. I'll come play for that shit. You can play Shane first or me first, whatever you want.
Oh, I'm definitely down for that too.
He said that was motivation.
We'll do a little warm up or whatever, and that's it. I'll go 1-on-1 against anybody. I don't care. Fuck out of here with that. I'm not one to be like, oh, in my past day. I'll still try to whoop your ass. Fuck out of
here. He said, let's bet bank accounts.
But that's not fair. I got more to lose.
Damn, got him. Immortal, easy money. Oh shit, Rob, coming out of the woodwork. Immortal Spawn was here, Shane, just so you know. He was here watching the whole time, but he said easy money. Yo,
I see it.
Mad disrespectful. Rob the Professor.
So where are we at right here? I mean, do we have any topics to go? We have any closing ideas, any questions? Where are we at right now in life?
I don't think we had any other questions unless you have something random to talk about or bring up, but I think that's I don't have anything else. I don't know if you do.
I mean, for the topics that you brought forward, I gave you what I felt from my heart and from my experience. I think that I wish everybody the best of luck. Definitely had fun on the show. Appreciate you having me. Again, I like to stay as involved as possible. So if you want anytime in the future, I'll definitely jump on. Hopefully we have a lot more to talk about, some more interesting stuff. Praised, you better bring us something to talk about. And that's it. That's all I got for you, buddy.
All right. Well, Shane, that's it. Praise. We are going to hold you against that in June. Whenever it is, you let us know. We'll have the three of us on here. Maybe we'll bring another New York goon. I've been trying to get GodPlays on here, but I know he's too ratchet and he's not necessarily wants to come on. But we'll try to get him on here at some point. But Shane, again, thank you for coming on here. Was there any last remarks before you go? Farewell to anybody.
Yo, shout out to the old MBN family and them old MBN supporters. If there's any left. The last dying breed. Now everybody just stay positive. Everybody stay up. The only thing I do want to say, if there's a lot of Gears of War players themselves in the watching and in the channel, definitely start focusing. This is one of the things that I'm really focused on, even with my limited time. You guys have to produce and create content. I know it sounds old as hell, but you know what I'm saying, for the game, one of the opening topics was farewell to Motivate Gaming. Even I think the roster that they had and the amount of scrims, you got to really start thinking about the bigger picture, within esports and yourself. People were kind of like thinking that, all right, we're not going to stream scrims. We're not. I really don't get it. I really don't understand. You're not running trick strats. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're letting people get and you're letting people get in on some of the things that you're doing. But all the intricacies you got to work out in person. Or like on your free time and private time, but when for the most part, you guys have to produce content, even if it's just highlights of crazy plays that you made. I want to see them. People want to see them, but Gears needs them. There's a difference. If everyone continues to kind of stay on the same path, I really don't know what the future is for console esports, because there's really not many functions and things of that sort. And I really think that people need to take advantage of the opportunity. Don't take this time for granted. Guys like Praised, all the pros, even, people who are aspiring, professionals, you really want to make sure that you build on your brand and make sure you have content to bring forward and promote the game itself, promote yourself. And that's how we're going to keep things funky and fresh and alive, and have, just good content to circulate. That's what we're all looking for. And that's my final message to everybody. That's what I'm going to start working on, and I leave everybody in your hands.
All right, Shane. So, guys, obviously pay attention to the guy. He speaks truth. We do need some content creation. I'm not going to touch any more on that. Praise, you get it. Most of you guys in here watching, everybody that's going to watch this on YouTube, I'm going to put it up right after, probably tomorrow. But again, Shane, thank you for coming on here. We'll have you on here once again. But thank you for coming on, and have a good night.
All right. Yo, everybody, take it easy. Yo, GowRosterMania, thanks for having me. Again, I'm out of here. That's it. No more words.
No more. Later, brother.
Later. Have a good night.
You too. All right, guys. That was it. That was Shane Kane, a.k.a. Prospect. Like you said, the guy introduced himself. We had a lot to talk about in regards to all these roster changes going on. And I know he brought up an idea or topic, whatever it is that you want to call it, about the whole commentating, the whole analyst situation. And I know that's something that, we're all kind of working towards. The guy has a lot to say. He does break it down. He's a really, really good analyst. He actually reminds me a lot of Immortal Spawn. I'm not just saying that because Immortal was one of my teammates and he's also in here. But both guys that know what they're talking about in regards to the game and outside of the game. They know what it takes to win. They know what it takes in the game to be a good teammate. Maybe sometimes they both got on my back. I was very wild at some points, but, you always need a player like that or a teammate like that. And it's good to hear from Shane, and it's good to see Praised in here tonight, as well as everybody else that was here to watch the show. I appreciate you all. Bill, give a shout out to Bill. Bill's in here. Good to see you, Bill. And guys, I think that's it for me tonight. I know we talked a lot. It's already 11:38 p.m. here on the East Coast. The fight night tonight, E United won again. They are back-to-back 2K champions. But again, guys, thank you all for being here. Make sure you follow the stream, top right. Just go ahead and click a follow on there. And follow me as well on Twitter, at NJCUBANO. Last message of the night. Pretty tired myself. Is I will be live, guys, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If anything changes, I'll be doing it on Wednesday. It all depends on the schedule of fight night and also depends on any other rival shows or ideas, whatever you want to call. Pretty tired, but if people want the final dance, you let me know. You know I'm always down to dance. That's a fact. But I think that's it in regards to the professional and like official formal way of saying goodbye to everybody. Thank you to Cam, actually, and Carlos from Motivate Gaming. Thank you for the quote. I know you guys couldn't make it tonight, but you guys will obviously see this up on YouTube probably tomorrow, like I said. But I think that's it. That's it. Final dance. Final dance. It's gotta happen. Bill, you came at the right moment. Last dance of the night, guys. I'm out of here. Here we go. Here we go. Gotta make sure that hair's on point. Hey. This is a real Cuban, too, by the way. Too much dust. Too much dust. Woo! This is a real Cuban. Havana, Cuba. It's legit. I only smoke the real stuff. I do need emotes. I do. I do. That's all you get about that. Hey, 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 hey. Now we're Mad Cuban in here. Here it goes. Thank you guys for the cheers. I appreciate that. Blow it up in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. My tri-state homies know about this. I think we need one more. I think we need one more. I gotta find a good one though. It's gotta be the good one before I say goodbye. We'll see. We'll see what's in the inventory right now. Oh, this is a good one. I like this one.
Our sleep experts
Jersey Club music. This is the final one of the night. Ad? I don't want this ad nonsense. This stuff out of here. This is for Praized. This last one is for Praized. Shout out to Praized for jumping in the chat tonight. That guy's a legend. I'll see you in June, Praized.
I've been moving calm, don't start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m.
I put the ice on for this.
You know how I like it when you look. Hey. It's a lot of bad things. What? Let's go. She say, do you only love my do you? Love my do you? Only love my do you? Only love my do you?
Bill, don't think I'm gonna go to Evo.
She say, do you? Do you? She say, do you? Do you? She say, do you?
Wanna fuck.
She say, do you? She say, do you? I only love my bed and my
Mama, I'm sorry.
Do you love? Do you love?
Alright, so we'll go behind the scenes.
Hit that ass in the back.
Do you love? Do you love? Do you love?
Behind the scenes. Woo. Let's keep it going. We'll go one more. We'll do behind the scenes. What's a good one? Wait. Oh, perfect. 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 That's the mic. Turn my mic up. Turn my mic up. Turn my mic up. Check myself out. Hey, 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 hey. Alright, and that is it. That's it for me tonight, guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll have this up on YouTube. And everybody, you have a good night. And I'll see you next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Good night.